How's it going, trainers? So Primal Groudon and Kyogre will soon be coming to Pokémon Go. And if you catch either of these Pokémon during the Hoenn Tour event, they'll come with their signature moves Precipice Blades and Origin Pulse. But just how good are these new moves? Well, that's what we're here to discuss today, so let's find out. Welcome back, everyone. So the primal forms of Groudon and Kyogre are finally making their long-awaited Pogo debuts. Since it was announced that they would be in raids for both the Hoenn Tour Vegas and global events, there's been a lot of hype surrounding these Pokemon. Both legendaries are poised to be incredibly impactful in the raid and PvP metas, and a big reason for that is because of their signature moves. So as we said before, today we're going to be analyzing these Pokemon and moves to see just how viable they truly are. But before we get into these new Pokemon and moves, let's take a look at the standard versions of these Pokemon. Starting things off with Groudon, this Pokemon has always been considered a decent option as a ground-type raid attacker. However, over the years, it's been vastly outclassed by stronger ground types. Pokemon like Earth-Power Garchomp, Excadrill, both forms of Landorus, and Shadow Mamoswine are all more viable compared to Groudon. Now the main reason for this is because of Groudon's lackluster charged move, Earthquake. While this move isn't terrible by any means, it's definitely a step down from the likes of Earth Power, Drill Run, or High Horsepower. Also, despite Therian Landorus also relying on Earthquake, it's got a much higher attack stat which propels it forward. So overall, Groudon isn't the worst ground-type attacker in the game, though there are easier to obtain Pokemon that'll serve you better. Now when it comes to PvP, Groudon is still a pretty relevant contender in the Master League. The combo of the legacy move Fire Punch with Earthquake makes it a great contender to meta staples like Dialga, Melmetal, and Zacian. Plus there aren't many grass, water, or ice types at the top of the league, so you won't have to worry too much about super effective one-shots. So now that we've talked about the standard Groudon, let's take a look at how it performs with the addition of Precipice Blades. As we said earlier, this brand new move will be available on any Groudon you catch during the Hoenn Tour events. Also, once the event starts, you should be able to get this move via an Elite Charge TM. However, when it comes between using this item and a $1 remote pass, I would personally go with the later option. But going back to Precipice Blades, in terms of its raid stats, it's going to be a 1-bar charged move with 130 power. Compared to Earthquake, this move has 10 less power. However, the big difference with this move is that it has a much faster duration. As a result, the standard Groudon goes from a mid-tier attacker to one of the top ground types in the game. In fact, the only other non-mega that has it beat is Shadow Mamoswine, though Groudon's greater bulk will help it survive far longer and get more damage in. So it pretty much goes without saying that this move is going to be great for raids. Now how will this help Groudon perform in PvP? Well, when using it in battle, this move is also just a straight upgrade to Earthquake. If you take a look at the two moves side by side, you'll see that Precipice Blades cost 5 less energy and does 10 more damage. So with this move, Groudon can unleash stronger damage quicker than Earthquake. That's going to be pretty devastating for steel types like Dialga and Melmetal. Plus it can even outpace other meta threats like Mewtwo and Giratina. So if you're already using Groudon, I would highly suggest getting one with Precipice Blades to heat things up. And that's just the potential of regular Groudon with Precipice Blades. If we add its primal form to the equation, things get even more insane. You see, a primal Groudon with Earthquake is set to be near the top best ground type attacker. However, a primal Groudon with Precipice Blades will be the absolute top. And even with the unreleased Mega Garchomp coming close and being preferred against some electric bosses, Primal Groudon will be the best overall raid attacker in its class. But now let's shift things over to a cooler legendary and talk about Kyogre. Where does it currently sit as it is? Well, in raids, it's remained the best non-shadow, non-mega water attacker. The combo of Waterfall and Surf make for a pretty good water attacking moveset, especially with Surf being a 2-bar move. And as for PvP, Kyogre also makes for a great Master League pick. Though if you asked me, I'd say it's a little more of a specialized Pokemon. It does well against certain Pokemon like Metagross, Ho-Oh, and Groudon, though it definitely struggles against dragon types like Dialga and Dragonite. In order to deal with these various obstacles, using either Blizzard or Thunder will help Kyogre thrive in most of its struggling matchups. So overall, it looks like Kyogre is still going to be good in PvP. Now what happens if we add Origin Pulse to it? Well, this move has the exact same stats as Precipice Blades, so that's a pretty good start. When using it in raids, Origin Pulse is definitely going to be an upgrade over Surf. However, since Surf is already a good move, it's not as big of an upgrade as Precipice Blades was for Groudon. Still though, Origin Pulse puts Kyogre over some of the Shadow Water types who have a better DPS output, though in terms of its PvP performance, things aren't going to be as positive. While Origin Pulse is still an incredible move, Kyogre's main issue is that it already has Surf as a cheaper water type move. It's definitely going to want to keep this for baiting, so if you want to use Kyogre in the Master League, you'll either have to stick with Surf and either Blizzard or Thunder, or go full water and go with Surf and Origin Pulse. Now because this move is still pretty good for Kyogre, it's not a bad idea to try going the mono water route. Its sheer strength can still be good in battle, even against opponents who resist it like Dialga, Zarude, and Giratina. Though if you use this move, it's going to remove valuable coverage Kyogre needs to overcome certain matchups. Now looking at Kyogre's win rate for both of these movesets, you can see that they're actually pretty similar. But when doing an actual battle, Origin Pulse is a bit of a downgrade because it makes your team less flexible. For example, let's say you're at the end of a match and you're facing a Zekrom without any shields. In this situation, you don't want to be stuck with water moves when they can just finish you off with a Wild Charge or a Fusion Bolt. So when deciding on which of these movesets to use, it all comes down to your playstyle, team, and the Pokemon you're seeing. Now as you'd expect, turning Kyogre into its primal form will make it even better. In this form, Kyogre becomes the best water type attacker in the game, which means it dethrones the current champ being Mega Swampert. Honestly, there really isn't anything else I can say to hype up this legendary more, so if you want the best water attacker in the game, get those raid passes ready. So to recap, Primal Groudon and Kyogre will become the top ground and water type raid attackers in the game, and even more so with their signature moves. Groudon will absolutely want Precipice Blades over Earthquake, and while Kyogre can make do with Origin Pulse, it would sacrifice a lot of coverage in doing so. But regardless, I definitely wouldn't skip out on raiding these legendaries during the Hoenn Tour. Obviously they'll be locked to trainers playing in Vegas this weekend, but next week they're going to be fair game for everyone. So guys, are you excited for the release of these brand new moves? Also, which of the two Hoenn Primal forms is your favorite? Be sure to let us know your thoughts down below. And if you enjoyed the discussion, then consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. So now that we've talked about how good these Pokemon are, you're probably wondering how to defeat them. And that's why next week we'll be releasing a guide on how to defeat Primal Groudon and Kyogre. So we hope that you'll come back and check that out to help you prepare. So until then, thank you all so much for watching, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.